that completes the awards, and you'll have noticed Lord Digby Jones up here showing a considerable organisational flair. I think a career as a floor manager awaits him if all the other things go flat, which is very unlikely. But I'm sure we're in for a very, very entertaining few minutes as I step aside, and I'd like you to give another warm round of applause as we welcome Lord Digby Jones.
Well, Jim, thank you very much indeed, and good afternoon now, I think. Yes, good afternoon to you all. You know, the only way that people win awards is loads of people enter. And always remember, yes, you might have won it, but there were an awful lot of people who gave you a run for your money. So to all the people who took part, all the people who wondered whether it was worth it, all the wonderful, fabulous excellence that we've seen on display, and I guess loads that we haven't, I just say, as a man who's so proud of this country, thank you very much indeed. Could I say thank you myself to Alan Dennis, because I think I've got the guy right. I'm amazed that he didn't say halfway through, 7! Well, I think we're going to hear him tomorrow night saying that somebody's doing the foxtrot, so there you go.
Will Lord Digby Jones,
Yes.
Jim Rosenthal, please take to the floor. The judges have their scores. Great Rebel Hall.
Wait till I tell the missus about that. Can I have my personal tribute to two heroes? The only reason that we're free to do all this stuff is because you risked everything to keep us through all those years ago. I have a little personal connection, which is I was one of the guys who was on the committee that helped build that building, and I did very, very little indeed. But an awful lot of people on that committee did one hell of a lot. But if it wasn't without you, we wouldn't be here. And the 55,000 guys who didn't come out. So just personally, thank you very much indeed. You know me through that introduction from Jim earlier on. I used to be Minister of State, Trade and Investment. I am the only minister the country has ever had, in the history of the country, actually, that didn't belong to the party of government. And I got a call from the then 2-day-old Prime Minister. Well, he wasn't 2 days old. Ed Balls was. No, he was... my tongue out. I got a call from Gordon. I said to the Queen the other day, I hate name droppers. And he said, you've been going on for years, and see now, why do they give the trade job? You know, come on, invest in our country, come on, buy our gear job to a politician, someone who doesn't understand business, doesn't want to leave the Westminster Beltway, can't wait to be transferred to death row. Why do they always give it to somebody like that? They want to give it to a business person who knows what they're talking about. And I've been going on about that for years. And he said, here's your chance, go and do it. He said, you'll have to give up all your money earning. What? He said, do you want to ring Pat? I said, I'd rather ring the bank manager, actually. And I said, well, I will. You know, a kid born on the wrong side of the tracks in Brum to become a peer of the realm is, wherever Dad is now, he died years ago, but I hope it means the kid did all right. But I said, I will, with enormous honour. But there'll be 2 conditions, Gordon. I said, one is, I'm not going to join the party. I said, don't get it wrong, I wouldn't join the other lot either. I've never belonged to a party, and I'm not going to start now. And I said, and secondly, I'm going to go in 18 months' time, because I'm going to give it absolutely everything I've got, and I have no political ambition. I want to do it for the job, for the country, for business. And he got it, actually, and he understood it. And he said, yeah, go and do it. He said, just one thing, make a note of this number. I said, what's that? He said, it's my private mobile. Don't abuse it, but you can use it. I said, why is that? He said, I think you're going to upset a lot of people. Anyway, I arrived at the department, and I met my Sir Humphrey. Some of you must remember Yes Minister. I've got news for you, it was not a comedy. It was a training documentary. Anyway. And I arrived, and he said, here's your car and driver. I said, I'm not getting in that. He said, why not? I said, it's not made in Britain. And to a lad who was born inside a mile from the Austin Motor Company at Longbridge, he said, why does that matter? And when we came back from his funeral, I I said, you don't get it. I said, it's not a nationalistic argument. I'm thrilled to bits. I'm a corporate ambassador for Jaguar now, and I'm thrilled to bits that JLR's owned by the unions. You know, Nissan and Honda and Toyota in Japan, General Motors, Vauxhall up in Hounslow-Port, owned by the Americans, Mini's owned by the Germans. I don't care. I do care that they do it in my country, employ our people doing it, and pay corporation tax. I mean, that's what I care about. And on that basis, I'm not getting in that because it's made in Tokyo. Well, what do you want? I said, I'll have a little Jaguar X-Type, they don't make it anymore, a little 2-litre drop made in Liverpool, 19 grand. He said, you can't have one now. I said, why not? He said, it's not on the list. Idiot. So, I am, you're not, I am. He said, they'll call you 2 Jags. I said, they won't. He said, why is that? I said, I've got 3 on the driver, don't I? I wasn't getting anywhere, so I thought, right, so I rang the number. Now, I must have been on Gordon's short dial. Because he said, good morning, Digby, how can I help you? What I didn't know was that was the morning that Northern Rock got bust. So there, in the cabinet room, at number 10 Downing Street, the 4th biggest economy on earth, there was the Prime Minister, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, the Business Secretary, the Governor of the Bank of England, the boss of the FSA, the Chairman and the entire board of Northern Rock. And I said, it's about my car. I got my Jaguar anyway, so that's all. And so I now sit as a crossbench peer, as you heard, and I'm non-aligned, and business is my constituency, the creation of wealth, hopefully on a socially inclusive basis, so that we can generate the profit and the job which pays the tax, which reduces the deficit and builds the schools and hospitals. As simple as that. If it wasn't for business, if it wasn't for making money, there would not be a public sector, period. Because when a business makes money, it can only do one of 3 things. It can keep it in the business as retained profit and pay tax on it. It can reward the shareholders who took the risk by a dividend or capital gain on sale, they'll pay tax on it. Or you can employ people and pay them bonuses and all, and they'll pay tax on it. And that tax goes in part to pay for the good, decent, hard-working people we badly need in the public sector, the nurses, the teachers, the doctors, the prison officers, the soldiers, the airmen, and everybody else. And they pay tax on it. But if it wasn't for actually the wealth that business creates, there wouldn't be any profit, there wouldn't be any tax, there wouldn't be any jobs. It's simple as that. And I don't think enough people in this country get that fact. I think they think it grows on trees, personally. They always talk about spending, huh? Spending now, spending later, ring-fence spending, cutting spending, increased spending. No one ever talks about earning it. And that's how important you guys are. If you weren't doing it, there wouldn't be any. Simple. And so I invite myself to all the different party political events and general election time, and I do it to all of them, so I keep my neutrality. And I say I'm going to every single one, and I want to tell you what business needs in politicians. And I did it in the 2010 campaign, and I wrote to them and said, I'll come and do something for you. But by the way, second paragraph, I'm doing it for all of you. And I got a letter back from one party that said, love to have you, could you do this and this? And I did, it went all right. I got a letter back from another party, would you love to have you, could you do it? Yes, and it went all right. And I'm still waiting to hear from the third party. I wonder how Vince Cable is these days. Anyway, so I find myself in the community hall of a suburb of one of Britain's great northern cities. The allotted time for this public meeting was 7:30. It was peering with rain outside. It was 7:29, and the audience numbered 1. Now, well, I thought that's politics, better get on with it, so I did. And he turned out to be a fabulous audience. Wow, laughed a bit. I think he clapped once. Anyway, I got to the end, and I said, if it's all the same to you, I think we'll skip the Q&A, and I'll get on my way. And he said, I'd rather you didn't, actually, because I'm the next speaker. What these awards have been about, my friends, I guess more than anything else, is a celebration of the excellence of what this nation can really do. What the United Kingdom is good at. Think about it. If there are 4 things that whatever we do, in any line of business whatsoever, I would say in any delivery of any public service whatsoever, we have to stay strong and we have to adhere to adding value, being innovative, producing quality, and working on the brand. And whatever we do, if we work on those four things, this Asia's century, where China wants your lunch and India wants your dinner, we will win through. You see, adding value, that is all about it not being a commodity. Not one of those things today sold on price. Price has to be within bounds, but it's sold on adding value to a piece of stone. You can't get more inert and commodity than a piece of stone. And by the time it's actually winning the award today, just look how much value has been added by the craftsmen and women who do it. That is the value-added aspect of 21st century Britain. Because you see, if you do commodities, things which sell only on price, Asia will have it, because there's always someone who will do it cheap. Innovative. It's not invention. Invention is actually having the idea. Innovation is taking that idea to market, making money out of it, making it a success. And for all the architects in the world, if you don't actually take that brilliant idea and wonderful design, add the stone and then produce the goods, you're nothing. And that's innovation, and that's what we celebrate today, and it's what we're very, very good at. Quality, none of that stone was cheap, because it was the best, basically. And it has to be that way. So if you don't want quality, you go somewhere else. And as for brand, it's all about building it, getting a name, getting a reputation, making sure people associate a name with a first-class job, on time, at a price that is reasonable. That is what it's about. Get your brand up there. If I could just take two examples from another sector. I guess a lot of you this summer went on a holiday on an Airbus. As I speak to you today, there's an Airbus flying from Moscow to Madrid. There's one flying from Cape Town to Johannesburg. There's one flying from Los Angeles to New York. Half of every Airbus that has ever flown, ever in the history of the world, half of every Airbus that's currently being built was built in our country. You will not read this in the newspapers. It's good news. Why would you? The wings are made in Broughton in North Wales. The undercarriages by Messrs Doughty down in Gloucester. The avionics, lots of small businesses, clever small businesses, all over the northwest and the Midlands, put together down in Bristol, Airbus and GKN and BA Systems. And under the wings are the greatest and best aero engines you'll ever find on Earth, and that's Rolls-Royce and Darwin. Now the Germans, they make the fuselage. Not a lot of technology in the fuselage. And the French screw it together, but the really clever stuff. The bit that gets it off the deck, the bit that keeps it there, and the bit that brings it down again, all made in our country. Fabulous, fabulous achievement. And that is all about innovation. How do you get this huge thing off the deck? Wonderful stuff. And then the second example I give you is, I could talk about JLR and its enormous success. 40,000 prepaid orders for the Evoque from China alone, all made in Liverpool. I could talk about the most productive car plant on the planet. Happens to be Nissan in Sunderland. These things didn't just happen. It's about the association of adding value, being innovative, producing quality and getting a brand. And this nation's done that. I say this with great respect to 4,000 souls in Bochum in Germany, but General Motors are just closing right now a car plant in Germany. You will not read this in the Daily Mail, it's good news. 4,000 people being laid off in Germany in a car plant, and they're moving the entire capacity into Eltham Airport in Liverpool, putting on a night shift and making all of it. That's fabulous news. I could talk about that, but I won't. I'll talk about a black kid from a council estate in Stevenage in Hertfordshire, who last Sunday week became only the third or fourth Brit ever to win the Formula One World Drivers' Championship twice. Lewis Hamilton not only did it, he did it in a British-built motor car. You see, Mercedes have their Formula One cars designed and built in Northampton. You tell that to the next German you meet. And that's a celebration of what you do. design, innovation, adding value, being quality, and developing a brand. We have nothing to fear, my friends. If we can carry on inspiring young people to get into your industry, if we can carry on getting journalists and trade unionists, environmentalists and educationalists and politicians to understand that without us all, there is no public realm, and we have nothing to fear if we carry on celebrating excellence like this. Pull it off, and our kids and their kids will say, didn't those people at that rather dicey time when the world took breath and thought, didn't they make the most of it? Didn't they go for it? Fail. They'll never forgive us. Thank you very much. Lord Digby Jones, ladies and gentlemen, adding quality and value to these awards, and picking up the Green Award and Grant Hamlet from the Stone Federation Technique
In natural stone, of course.
Thank you very much.
Well done, and the way you moved along up here, a little bit of dancing, a bit of soft shoe there. I could see you actually. I could see you on Strictly with Alan calling your number. I could. You never know down the line.